Welcome to Jet Lag Rock and Roll, the East Bay edition.
What I love about the East Bay is that it's not the West Bay.
I love the diversity of the different kinds of people that live here. I love it how close it is to San Francisco, but it's not San Francisco.
I really like how all of the cities are right next to each other, and you don't know which city you're in unless you see the street sign. I think of San Pablo Avenue as kind of like my classic East Bay street, because it goes through half a dozen cities, probably more, and it's awesome.
Really enjoy all the outskirts, the hills, the redwoods, and the lovely climate. You can constantly find something new. Despite how long you've lived here, there always seems to be new things growing up and molding in the corners.
It's a great place. Good people here.
When people come to the East Bay, one of the first places I take them is up to the Lawrence Hall of Science, and you can walk kind of around the side of the museum and you can see the entire Bay Area spread out from downtown Oakland. You see San Francisco, you see downtown Berkeley spread out in front of you. You can see Golden Gate, Angel Island, Alcatraz. It's incredible, and it kind of is why I live here.
The Albany Bold. If I was to bring anybody to visit the East Bay, that is definitely where I'd bring them. It's super apocalyptic. It looks like there was like a nuclear explosion and zombies would be living there. But it also has a beautiful view of San Francisco. It's an amazing place.
It is a landfill, and it's chock full of different sculptures made out of garbage and concrete pilings that were just kind of dumped there, being a landfill. And it's been painted. There's been artists who have gone all over the place and built sculptures. It's also right next to Golden Gate Fields, which is the local racetrack. It's one of the only racetracks left in California. They've got dollar days on Sundays, and it's awesome. I mean, okay, I'm a vegetarian, so I should hate horse racing, but I don't. It's an incredible sport if you can stomach it, and it's a great way to waste a few hours watching beautiful animals do what they were born to do, which is run really fast in a circle, or an oval actually. But it's a great time for a sunny day. You go there, you have a drink, you sit out in the sun, you make bad decisions on spending money in terms of betting, and you don't win anything, but you win the experience, and it's great.
Joaquin Miller Park. There's a funerary pyre that Joaquin Miller himself erected for his death. He really wanted to be publicly burned to death. And there's also a pyramid that he had built. It's also just a really good park to walk around. It's very beautiful, lots of wildflowers and chipmunks and stuff. I really like taking buddies there. It's a pretty strange place, pretty strange man. He's dead now.
Children's Park goes the whole length of the East Bay, and it's insane how much nature you can cram in just literally minutes away from Telegraph Avenue and smelly people begging for change. It's awesome.
We have a pretty good movie theater scene, and I find that the older the theater, of course it's gonna be cooler and have more beautiful art. Like the Grand Lake Theater has tons of Art Deco, original woodwork and murals and paintings and stuff. But they also have better popcorn than other theaters. And also it's right by Lake Merritt, which is a very important lake to walk around. It's very weird and beautiful. One of the best movie theaters in Oakland is the New Parkway. They have bingo night. It's free. You can win all sorts of prizes like tickets or like pitchers of beer, cider. And they really support the local filmmaking scene. Not only is it a movie theater, but it's a really good community space. And I'm like really glad it exists.
A couple other things that people should check out. KALX Berkeley 90.7 on the FM dial. That's the radio station that rocks. It's UC Berkeley's radio station. You can also find it at kalx.berkeley.edu.
Get a bicycle. You'll see so much more of Oakland when you're not moving quite as fast as you would in a car. There's a lot of magic that hides out in the corners. There's a lot of things that makes it special that I feel like is really easy to miss.
So there's a Japanese fried chicken place downtown Oakland called Aburaya it's only been around for like a year, and it's like a pop-up. For lunch, they're in one place, and then for dinner, they're in another place, but it's like, doesn't taste like anything else I've ever had. It's mind-blowing. It's just like little tiny fried chicken pieces and like weirdo Japanese-inspired side dishes, and it's probably the best food in the East Bay, as far as I can tell.
Champa Garden in Oakland is my favorite Thai restaurant in the East Bay. The best thing to get is the rice ball salad. Delicious dried shrimp and pork with chili spices and lime, and you wrap them in these delicious lettuce wraps with mint and cilantro and these spicy sauces. It's awesome.
So favorite restaurant, I kind of have to split into two. One is the Broombush Cafe, which is an awesome no-frills diner in Berkeley. And it's got your basic grilled cheese. You can get veggie burger if you're a veggie. It's inexpensive. And it's really honest, good food, and it fills you up. Only a few blocks away is my other pick, Juan's Place. Both these restaurants have been in Berkeley for decades. Juan's Place is the Mexican restaurant. Like the Broombush Cafe, it's real basic. It's not frilly. You don't get arugula or like kale or any of that crap. It's awesome, honest Mexican food. They've got a little bar, and it's fantastic, both of them. So my favorite record store at this point is 1234 Go Records on 40th in Oakland.
The owner of 1234 Go Records moved in from Seattle and picked a spot on a street that had nothing on it and opened a tiny record store. I think the neighborhood's been really grateful. And it's also become one of the only all-ages show spaces in Oakland. They opened up like the back room so you could have shows in there.
Sometimes they have like book readings, art shows. Gary Floyd from the Dicks had an art show there, or a couple of art shows actually. Steve Stevenson, who runs the record store, also has a record label of the same name. Super fun, almost all vinyl, a really wide selection. You never know quite what you're going to find in the used new arrivals. Sometimes there's great stuff, sometimes it's meh, but that's a record store for you. So it's really entertaining to go and just kind of see what's new. They also have like books and zines and stuff.
I love Stranded because I can go in there and it's pretty well curated. You can get really great punk or post-punk or psychedelic or just something a little bit more eccentric than your average record store. It's curated pretty particularly. I like that. It's not super cheap, but it's worth going to, and you will always find something and you'll spend the money anyways because you'll want it.
It would be weird not to mention a couple other places, like Amoeba Records is for your general record buying. Like that's the place to go. Also Dave's Records I really love as well. They're mostly jazz, which is not the genre I appreciate at all. But they do have a lot of other non-jazz records too, Dave's Record Shop, and that's all vinyl, and that's in Berkeley.
General shopping area, down at Lulu's. If you want to buy vintage clothing, records, fanzines, get your hair cut, awesome place, duh. Also, Alameda Flea Market, which is the first Sunday of every month, is awesome if you want anything.
So San Pablo Flea Market is not really a flea market. It's like a weird shop that is in a big parking lot, and this weird old guy runs it. It's just a parking lot full of old furniture and medical supplies and like strange junk. And then inside the store, because there's like a little building that's kind of the store, they have like a big shelf of unlabeled like VHS tapes with weird stuff on them, and old notebooks and photographs and weird people's stuff. You kind of never know what's going to be there when you show up. It's like a place where you can't really expect to get anything that you're looking for, but you just got to go.
Tons of vintage clothing all over Oakland. Mercy Vintage, Pretty Penny, Empress Vintage. It's all kind of condensed and small. You could do it all.
I always try to bring them to Telegraph Avenue because you kind of have to. It's awful, atrocious. I try never to go there, but I'm always there. It's got your bookstores, well, one bookstore at this point, Moe's, which is well worth it.
There's Rasputin, Amoeba Records, there's Mars.
It's got lots of idiotic college boba tea places, and it's got street people and street life, and it's pretty darn Berkeley.
So Oakland is definitely most known for its warehouse shows and house parties, but if you can't find any of those, I still recommend the Stork Club. Maybe good shows are few and far between, but it's a really unique experience. They've got tons of Barbies on display, sometimes Christmas lights, an aquarium with very large, very funny looking fish, just a good low stage, a dance floor, booths, arcades.
The White Horse. That is the best place to see a show because it's like a mini Studio 54 for me. I love that place. It's a gay bar. It's the first gay bar in the East Bay. It's a great place for bands to play in the back room. They're really awesome people. You should support that bar, hang out there anyways, and go see shows there.
So my favorite venue in the East Bay is maybe obviously 924 Gilman in West Berkeley. It's all ages, volunteer-run, collective, nonprofit, and it's pigeonholed as just punk rock, but there's been a lot of indie rap recently, and ska, and obviously a lot of punk, but a lot of stoner metal and grindcore, all kinds of weird stuff. But yeah, you have to go there if you come to the East Bay because it's been there since 1986. So knock on wood, you can still check it out when you see this.
Trader Vic's is in Emeryville. I love that bar. It's an awesome tiki bar. It's famous, and they have great Hawaiian drinks, Mai Tais, all those fancy drinks with umbrellas in them and everything. The decor is awesome. It's authentic. It also has a great view of the city. It's an old school Bay Area institution. Food, but drinks, good.
Forbidden Island is my favorite bar in the East Bay. It's in Alameda. It's a tiki bar. It's definitely has lots of cool like 50s Polynesian art and decor. And they always have good DJs and cool booths and good mixed drinks. Like if you like pina colada like I do, it's a very good place to take people.
So my favorite bar in the East Bay is the Ruby Room. It's in downtown Oakland, right next to the lake on 14th Street. It's the darkest bar in Oakland. It's basically shadows and some red lights, and that's pretty much it. I DJ there every week, pretty much. They've got a smoking room where you can also play pool. It's an institution. It's kind of the center of bad decisions for drinkers in the East Bay. When you wake up the next morning, like, oh, that's the Ruby Room.